Are you sick and tired of gambling your hard-earned money on Madden packs? Look no further than my sponsor, MMOEXP, for the cheapest and most reliable MUT coins on the market. And don't forget to use code Ferdy at checkout for 5% off. What's going on, guys? Today we are grading all of the brand new Season 6 Field Pass players, and we're also going to discuss which ones you should pick first, as this is not a traditional Field Pass like we've seen before, because as you guys can see, there is no like Drew Brees for level 35 or Harrison Smith for level 4. There is this reward right here, and once you unlock this, you're able to pick any of the 499s that we're going to talk about today in any order. Unfortunately, though, in order to upgrade those guys to 99s, you are going to need to get the player upgrade token. So you're still going to have a 97 overall in your lineup, but until you get to level 26, that is the first Season 6 player upgrade token on this whole thing. And then obviously they kind of, you know, you're just going to popping up kind of more and more as we go here, but 26 is the earliest you're able to get these 99s, but still some pretty good cards pretty much across the board. Of course, before we get started, if you are part of the 63% of people who watch the videos and are not subscribed, let's change that right now. Head down there, hit the subscribe button, and turn on those notifications. And of course, I will be live tonight on Twitch, 8 p.m. Eastern, and I hope to see you there. Okay, so let's get started with the welcome pack player. As you guys see here, there's going to be Demarcus Lawrence upgrades sprinkled throughout the season, and is honestly a pretty good card. Don't really have any problems with him. He gets secure tackler, gets edge threat, so he can be an edge guy, even gets inside stuff, so if you want to play him at defensive tackle, you're able to do that too. He does get secure tackler and enforcer supreme, so you shouldn't have a problem with this guy against the angry runs or freight train running backs that are in the game. And I should also mention that there is a Season 6 theme team. I only heard it for like a little bit on the stream, but it didn't sound like it was going to be like broken or anything. It's not going to be the next Super Bowl or Combine theme team, but it is so cool that if you use, or if you are, you know, using some of these players to build your team up, that there is some kind of chemistry or boost involving them. That's definitely a cool thing. And this particular card does get 5x Season 6 chemistry, so that's obviously quite a lot. But good abilities, good stats. The Demarcus Lawrence card, let me check his traits real quick, are traditionally obviously pretty good. His last upgrade was a Genki Force. Yeah, perfect traits on him besides big hitter, but he does get Enforcer Supreme or secure tackler, but should be a pretty solid card. No problem with Demarcus Lawrence. I'm honestly going to give this guy like an A. An A. He's as good as a pass rusher can be without getting Colossus or some kind of X factor. Just very solid. So A for Demarcus Lawrence. Okay, now let's talk the cards that you're able to pick through the field pass. And let's go from the worst to who I think is the best choice to pick first. Obviously, there is a bunch of good options here. I think the worst one is probably Drew Brees. And the reason for this is look at the QB landscape, right? Looking at the QB landscape, I'm not taking Drew Brees over a lot of these guys, and he's going to be a free card. You're going to get him at a 97, but even if you are just getting started in Ultimate Team, 96 Bo Jackson goes for 100K. There's even guys like, what's his name? Doug Williams. Doug Williams is another guy. I was blanking on his name there, but he's under 100K, cheap. I would rather use him than even use a free Drew Brees. I mean, this card, his release should be okay. I believe his previous release was pretty clunky. If we look at his previous card, he had traditional 3. It's not traditional 4. It's not Slinger 1. It's nothing like that. It's just kind of there. It exists. But Gunslinger for free, you're definitely going to want to use Gunslinger if you are going to use Drew Brees. And then he also gets Hot Route Master. And keep in mind, there are 2 ability buckets. So probably Gunslinger, Set Feet would be the move on him. Unless you want to go with Hot Route, Set Feet, and then go Gunslinger for 4 AP, then Gift Wrap for 5, and then you don't use Fearless. But, you know, looking at the current other QBs in the game, Drew Brees doesn't stack up even against some of the cheaper guys that are in the game. You know what I mean? If he was like valued at a card that goes for like, you know, Will Levis at like 300K, then sure, like I would take Will Levis easily over Drew Brees' card, 100%. So Drew Brees is probably the worst one, and usually QB's a position where it's very preferential. Like if you have a problem with a card, you can just get rid of them. Like people nitpick the quarterbacks the most. So if you don't like Drew Brees and you pick him, you gotta wait until you get that next token to pick the guy you actually wanted. Which is not that big of a deal if you're gonna play the game, or you know, it's not the end of the world, but you can't sell them, is what I'm trying to say. And if you are just getting started and you pick Drew Brees, you put yourself in a corner to begin with already. But let's go with for Drew Brees is great. I think he's gonna be a solid 99 overall QB. Drew Brees, mid abilities, mid release, kind of fast for a Drew Brees card. I think he's honestly deserves like a B. I'll give Drew Brees a B. I'll give him a B. Just based off against the current QB landscape, the card is simply lackluster. That's the real reasoning behind the B grade there. And next up, we got Harrison Smith, and I would put him at number 3. Harrison Smith is he's pretty good. I mean, his cards normally play pretty well, so 97 speed with 98 acceleration, good hit power, can play man, can play zone, can tackle, and has good pursuit, good play rec, and gets pick artist, no outsiders, which I don't love on a safety, but mid-zone KO, that's pretty good for a safety. Deep in zone KO and Enforcer Supreme. I would probably go with like deep in zone and Enforcer Supreme for my scheme because you're able to stop the angry runs running backs and have a good safety that can tackle that also gets deep in zone with his build and his size. And really, 97 speed, don't let that scare you too much. It's obviously not 99, but speed differential in this game is not much. So you're going to feel a little bit of a difference, but it's not going to be like game breaking if you have a deep in zone. He'll react fine. He'll be able to tackle these cards fine. So Harrison Smith, I'm going to give him an A- on this card. I think if he had a little better speed, would have been a little bit better, but at the end of the day, like, we're at the 99s, we're at the end game, and is this card like super end game? No, but he's still 99 overall, and he's pretty good. So I'm gonna give him the A- grade there on Harrison Smith. And next up, this is where I'm a little torn. This is where it comes down to your choice. My 1 and 2, my 2 and 1. It's either gonna be Lane Johnson or Bobby Wagner, and I'll explain the pros and cons of each one here. And also I should have mentioned with what's his name, with Harrison Smith, that the safety position right now, especially where he plays, the strong safety, but he also will get secondary free safeties, but like strong safety as a position this year is so thin. Like, I mean, Jamal Adams, no one has him. He's 3 million coins. Palomalu is really good. Ronnie Harrison's solid, but again, like 97 speed on him, 97 speed, 97 speed, 97 speed. So if you pick him early enough and can get him fully upgraded early enough, he'll actually be a pretty competent option as a safety. You know what I mean? Like, he really will be. But again, like, will he be your first choice? If he is, then maybe you can get him early enough. But like, looking at the safeties, like, safety as a position this year is kind of weak. I feel like it's kind of probably the weakest we've ever seen it be before. Like, it's really bad how weak the safeties are. So I guess that gives you a slight reason to go after Harrison, because safeties just aren't great. It would have been cool to see these cards get all 32 team chems, but it is what it is. I think it definitely would have lifted, like, especially Harrison Smith. If he got all 32, he'd be right up there. Maybe not right up there with Kyle Hamilton, but pretty close to him. For a free card, that would have been amazing. Harrison Smith, I'm going to stick with the A-, but keep in mind, the safety position is just very thin this year. But Lane Johnson, let's take a look at our left tackles. There's one in mind that people are definitely using. Wait, he's a right tackle. My bad. Right, left. He's a right tackle. There's one guy that people are definitely using. That's Rob Havenstein or Mike Owenu. So these are probably the two most popular options at right tackle right now. Owenu is great because he gets all 32 team chems as well as 2 0 AP abilities, which is pretty nice. Like, all day, natural talent, why not? Secure for 1. There is obviously a couple secures for 0, but secure for 1 is pretty good. And then Rob Havenstein is the big one because he does get that secure for 0. So, and by the way, Lane Johnson does not get secure for 0. So that's the thing right there. Secure is obviously one of the best pass blocking abilities in the game, as it counteracts a lot of the X factors and abilities that you see online. But still, I would say, just as an offensive lineman, if you're someone who kind of has a patchwork offensive line and you can play him out of position and be okay with it, being able to get like Identifier and Nasty Streak, or Identifier and Linchpin if you don't have an Identifier yet, or even if you have an Identifier, you can still go Nasty Streak and Linchpin or Edge. Like, it's not bad still for this card what you're able to do with him. Obviously, secure not being 0 hurts him a lot, but great stats. And I would imagine, they haven't been giving Lane Johnson cards recently crazy speed, but I always used to love Lane Johnson because he would always get good speed. This is his first upgrade of the year. This is Lane Johnson's first upgrade of the year. That's crazy. He always gets upgraded. So I'm not even sure it's really expected on the speed. I'm hoping maybe it's close to 80. Then if you have a combined team, you can get with like 86 speed and stuff like that, make him pretty good. But Lane Johnson is still a good option to me. Even if you have Havenstein or someone like that, I think he's able to play anywhere on the offensive line. Like, Nasty Streak's good for a guard. There are ways you can move this card around and still play him and make use of him for a free offensive lineman. I might even try to get my hands on this card because it looks pretty solid. So, it says right here, look, it says you'll be rewarded instead of, season 6. Yeah, so that's pretty much what they said. All right, I was making sure I was understanding it right, but it does make sense. So Lane Johnson, I'm going to give him an A+. He's one of the best offensive linemen in the game based off stats and abilities, getting those 2 0 APs. It's very good. Bobby Wagner is also a really good one. 6 foot, so as a user, is he going to be your 6'7", 6'4", 6'8", 6'6", like users that we've seen this year? No, but he does get Lurk Artist in mid zone, which is a very popular option. If you're someone like me who doesn't really feel like they need the mid zone on a user, which I don't feel like I need it, but I know people that do like it, and being able to click on it, switch off their user and stuff like that, it's very effective. So Lurk Artist, mid zone, he does get both of them. Or you can go with Lurk Artist and Enforcer Supreme, which is going to help you out a lot versus those angry run guys, and on your user, that's actually very important. So to me, I really like Lurk Guard as Enforcer Supreme or Lurk Guard as mid zone, and I feel like this is probably the best card. I mean, looking at the users in the game, the middle linebacker users, I mean, that's pretty solid speed for a user in this game right now. Like, it's 97 speed's not bad at all. The only thing that you could argue is his height's a little bit small, but I'll take it, man. I'll take the 97 speed on my user, and hopefully, I mean, we take a look at Bobby Wagner here. And keep in mind, also, if you are just getting started in this game, and you pick one of these guys, right? Say we pick Bobby Wagner, and let's see how he moves. See, Bobby Wagner's cards don't move that well. That's the one thing I'm a little bit afraid of on this card. So definitely before you pick him, make sure that he's got at least 90s, mid to low 90s in agility and COD, as that's very important for how a user moves. But say you are someone that is just starting on Ultimate Team with Season 6, and you wanna pick Bobby Wagner, or say probably Bobby Wagner was the one that makes the most sense, or like Harrison Smith. Just, it's very easy to build a 25 theme team and get these guys that extra little +1 speed. It's very cheap. It's not very expensive. Just to add a 25 to a team that has no theme team, it's not that hard. You don't have to get cute and get 2x players and strat cards. 25 is for pretty much just golds and backups, and it's pretty easy to do, pretty cheap, especially in mid-April. But I think depending on what your team looks like, either Bobby Wagner is great or Lane Johnson. I think they should definitely be your first two, I think, without question, unless your team really needs safety help. As you saw, Harrison Smith is a pretty good option looking at the safety landscape. But Bobby Wagner, I think he's honestly also an A+ too. I wish he was a little bit taller, but he's kind of like a low A+ to me. Is that even a thing? I don't know. But I'll give him he's like a 97. If someone could be 100, he's like a 97. He's a good card. Very good card. I think they did a good job with Season 6 on these cards. I wish they were just like a little bit more exciting names. The rewards also don't look bad at all either, as you actually are able to get a 99 overall at the end. Looking through these set items, as you're able to get Tariq Woolen for this season, you're able to get basically a free Ring of Honor through this season, which is pretty good. And you also have the option packs and my favorite uniform packs. You gotta love those. But still, it's gonna be your check boxes, check your boxes, play your games, get no experience for actual gameplay, only get experience for playing for checking a box. It's unfortunate, but that's how they want to do it. Hopefully, again, that change is coming for Madden 25 or Madden 2025, whatever they call that next game. And also, we see the NFL draft. Who do you see? I see Larry Fitzgerald, I see Todd Gurley, and I don't know who that could be. I don't know. I think it looks kind of wide. Maybe like an offensive lineman. It can't be Lamar, right? Would they drop another Lamar? Why not? I was thinking Kyler for this one, but we have so many Kylers. Maybe not. Probably Larry. Let me know down in the comment section. As always, thank you for watching today's video. Comment down below who you're going to pick first. Who are you going to pick? Comment down below. And yeah, I will see you boys in the next one.